Every morning, before the meetings begin and the phone starts ringing, I ask myself the same question. What can I do today to make my country and the world a little bit better? It's a simple question, but it grounds me in intention rather than routine. I didn't always ask myself that question. Years ago, I began my morning with a different question. How will I get through this day? Deadlines were heavy, change felt slow, everything felt urgent. But that day, in a small moment, everything changed. In 2022, during one of Bahrain's most sought-up tourism events, the Food Festival, I made it a point to visit every vendor on the final day. At the time, as the Deputy CEO of the Tourism Authority, I wanted to ask them about their experience, thank them, and ask them how we can make things better. Those were conversations that I enjoyed deeply. We reached one stall in particular, where one of my team members leaned in and whispered. He started with a very small stall. Now, he has a restaurant in one of the most up-and-coming dining districts in the country. In that very moment, something touched me. A tourism event, something many see as entertainment, has quietly changed someone's life. Not through a large investment, not through a grand policy, but through one opportunity. That day is when my question shifted, and I went from questioning with routine to questioning with intention. Working in the government, it's easy to get caught up in policies and plans and KPIs and deadlines and frameworks. But the most meaningful change I've ever seen rarely starts in a boardroom. It starts in everyday places. It starts in hotels. It starts in restaurants, in public spaces, in hallways, in classrooms, where someone decides to care a little bit more. A teacher who stays up late to help a student, a driver who decides to step up and help someone stranded in the heat, or a hotel receptionist who simply remembers a guest's name. Small gestures, but when they multiply, they create something profound, something powerful, a ripple effect. A few months ago, during a casual conversation I was having with a five-star hotel manager, I learned about a community initiative that they have kickstarted. The hotel had created a 2-week on-the-job training program for people of determination. Curious, I visited, unofficially. In the marketing department, a young man, autistic, sat completely focused on his screen. He had designed bright, elegant materials to promote the hotel, filled with thoughtful details. He smiled and said, "I'd love to show you what I'm working on. I'm really enjoying this." I could hear the pride and enthusiasm in his voice. In the finance department, another young man, also autistic, was deep in spreadsheets. He was so focused, he didn't even notice I was there. His manager whispered, "He reviews numbers in a fraction of the time my other employees do." When he finally looked up, He said softly, "I'm almost done. I'm really enjoying this." After my visit, the manager told me they joined us for 2 weeks. We thought it would be a small gesture, just experience. But they changed the energy of this place. Then he added, "We'd love guidance on how to onboard and retain more people of determination. We've seen what they can bring." This moved me deeply. This wasn't charity. It wasn't compliance. It was belief in someone's value. Here's the thing. Bahrain already provides wage subsidies, training, and certification for companies that hire people of determination. The support existed. The hotel simply wasn't aware. Just as they have done something to make the lives of 2 young men better, I could do something to make their lives a little bit easier. So we acted quickly to connect the dots. I reached out to my fellow ministers, and together we formed a small task force to link existing government support with hotels, to match real vacancies with registered candidates. Within weeks, we rolled out an incentive package and contacted hotels across the country. The response? Phenomenal. Vacancies started pouring in. Today, we are matchmaking roles with candidates, but more importantly, we're turning compassion into careers. That simple act of kindness from a hotel became a ripple effect of good intentions. I'd like you all to join me to applaud one of the gentlemen who was part of the 2-week program, who inspired me to take action. Hussein, thank you so much for being here today and for inspiring us to take action and move things forward. Thank you so much, Hussein.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure's all yours.
Sit down with your mom now. Yeah? But let me ask you this. What made swift action possible? A government that places livelihood and dignity at the heart of policy. When our government approved and delivered Cascavy, the world's first CRISPR gene therapy for sickle cell disease and thalassemia, it wasn't a scientific milestone. It was a moral one. Bahrain became the second country after the United States to offer this treatment, turning a lifetime of pain into the possibility of a cure. I want you all to take a moment and look at the picture that is in front of you. Many people would know that this picture is a picture of His Royal Highness, our Crown Prince, and Prime Minister's visit to the world's first sickle cell disease patient outside of the United States to complete successfully the treatment of Cascavy. I am here to tell you that this is not just a picture. This is not just a visit. This is a picture of a government that took a decision that was rooted in empathy. Empathy for patients, defined by hospital visits. Empathies for family that are waiting for hope. Empathy that says, if we, as a government, can change their story, we will. This empathy transformed into governance, where human needs drive national action. Empathy isn't soft policy, it's strong policy. It builds trust, and trust builds nations. When I was a child, coming from a country that is very cosmopolitan, I remember watching how my family greeted people from different religions, different beliefs, and different backgrounds with the same warmth, the same smile, and the same respect. At the time, I didn't know what that everyday harmony was, and that it was actually rooted into something deeper. Bahrain's constitution protects freedom of belief, dignity, and more importantly, the dignity of every community. It doesn't just sit on paper. It breathes life into our policies. How we build our schools, how we protect our places of worship, and how we celebrate our national identity. Our coexistence is not accidental, it's natural. A story that is written into law, lived through policy, and passed through generations. And when you look at these three stories, a hotel transformed by inclusion, a nation offering a life-changing cure, and a society that is built on coexistence. You might think or wonder, what is the connection between them? But when you take a closer look at those stories, you realize that they are not separate moments. They are actually chapters of the same story. Each one of those stories show what happens when empathy moves from people to policy to identity. When compassion starts with an intention and becomes a culture, and when kindness stops being an act and becomes the architecture of a nation. This made me realize, as governments, we always tend to talk about growth and GDP. But have we ever considered this? What about kindness per capita? Let's take a moment and think about kindness per capita. What about measuring the strength of a nation, not just by its economy, but by how people care for one another? The future we want is built one act of care at a time, by people who choose compassion when no one is watching, and by governments that lead with empathy, building trust, dignity that feels human. So let me invite you to take a moment and think about your morning routine. Before the messages starts, before the meetings begin, what if you asked yourself the same question? What small thing can I do today to make life around me just a little bit better? This question, asked every day, can quietly rewire how we lead, how we love, and how we live. The future isn't built by grand plans. It's built ripple by ripple, by people who choose care when no one is watching, Let your answer to that question, however small, be the start of something greater than you can imagine. Thank you.